It's a bit windy here today to demonstrate this drone, but I'll just show you what I can do with it. It's right in front of me now. If I want to swing it to the right, I just move my beacon over there, swing it down here. I've got it there. If I want to go straight over the top of me, like so, point it. It'll fly wherever I want. As soon as I take my finger off the button, it'll hold. If I want to bring it down low to track the bike, here we are coming down. Want to swing it up to the front. Anywhere I want to track this bike when I get out later on, I can track it. Right up. Here's another rest area on the side of the road, and you'll get a rough idea what this is like too. Rest area. So when you come through here now, there she is. These are the new breed of rest area. So this is what it looks like. You've got the toilets over there. Further, and I'll show you where there's another rest area, and that's the sort of one I'm going to target. Yeah guys, so if we look around here, this is the sort of a rest area I'm going to pull into, the old school ones. Nobody uses them that much now, except when they're dumping metal or that, when they're doing road repairs. And this is the one I'm going to use when we pull over one time and do the roadside cook sessions. So once again, there's your main road over there. You've got traffic coming along here now, trucks coming past now. There he is moving past. And as far as that goes, this will be a perfect place to do it. Oh, there's another big truck going past there too. So that bit aside, this will be the place we'll target. There's nice areas like this, plenty of place here for you to pull over and set up your little campfire and or stove, whatever you're going to use, and we can get right into it. So that's the plan. Okay guys, here's a bit of this creative art I just mentioned earlier on the clip, and this is on the back road to the Western Plains Zoo in New South Wales, Australia. And here we've got the bike sitting here naturally. They've even put up a bench or a log here somebody could sit on if they want to, over the fence here. So be careful where you're walking in case you run on a brown snake. You got the old bull over there, got his back to us. Here we've got a giraffe bike up above. That was out of a, looks like an old water tank with a little bit of side rails. Like I said, the old bull there doesn't want to take any notice. Now up the other side, to get the scene with the Western Plains Zoo, up here we've got ourselves an elephant. So that was a bit creative, with by the looks of it, a stalk on the back of it. So these are the things you're going to see when I do the first clip. When I go up along here, there's about 50 or 60, and I'll just pick out the best ones. But this will give you an idea what's going to take place. Local police station in Cumnock, and even they got into the theme of it. There you'll have there. Pig riding a motorbike. Pretty well done too. It looks like a Harley. But again, local police. Got a wicked set of tusks on him too. Or could that be a moustache? Anyway, that's the sort of art you'll see coming along this road, and next time I'll get more serious and bring the big camera out. We can zoom on the stuff in the paddock. Notice some really good stuff, so we'll go from there. Okay guys, thanks for tuning in, taking a look at the clip, and I hope you found it useful. If so, I wouldn't mind a favour, and it's not going to be a favour asking you for a donation to PayPal or any of the other stuff what some of the sponges on YouTube ask you for, or to help me kick along with the channel. There's no problem whatsoever. What I am asking is if by chance you'd be good enough to subscribe to the channel, throw a comment there, give it a thumbs up, anything to get this clip moving higher up in the algorithm, because I plan on doing a 25-part series if this kicks off okay on the Roadside Rest and Ride series, and it's probably going to take about a year to do it. So what I want to do is sort of get it up higher in the algorithm and hopefully get more views, get it up higher, get a few more subs to this channel, so that, you know, I've got a fair audience to go out and sort of give me the motivation to get out and do it, because there's been a lot of expense on my part between the bike, several GoPro cameras, a movie camera, all the other crap that goes with it to put one of these together. And I'd like a good audience if I'm going to go out and show the best of Australiana and do a bit of cooking there too. So if you if that idea interests you, you can always just do a sub to the first instalment. If you're not happy with it, you can always tap out and call it, you know, like, yeah, we'll just call it even. So, you know, if you found that helpful with this clip on the Tappet side, we'll go from there. Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel today. Thought I might do a Tappet check on this bike, just see if they're in spec. So first thing you might notice when I zoom out, that I've got a more solo plate on the back instead of my rear pillion seat, and the reason being I want to carry a milk crate onto the back of that to cart all my junk around there when I'm out doing some things on it, as far as when we get out there and do the reviews on the cook and ride section. So that's the idea behind that. So normally your pillion seat would sit on the back there where the plate is, so if you want to get out it, you might see I've got a 17mm ratchet sitting there on one side. So the first thing you do is just undo both of these, like so. Just undo either side of that and remove that section out of that. So it's a 17mm socket both ends, socket one end, spin to the other, apply a bit of tension, and you can release the pressure on it. Okay, just under the rear section of the seat, another 12mm. Okay, the seat's off now. It's on the rear of the tank, a 10mm. We've got an 8 one, and we've got a 10 on this side. Okay, we've got that one out now. Okay guys, I wasn't really planning on doing a tutorial what I'm doing here, or show you what I did, not so much tutorial, but just how I go about doing this tappet adjustment, or check if they're in spec or not. But we've got this far, so I'll see what happens, and just it may help someone or may not, just depends on how things go. So we're at the stage now where you're going to remove the tank. So the most important thing I can say at this stage is at least get the tank down to virtually no petrol in it whatsoever, or as close as you can to an empty tank, because there's a fair bit of weight in the petrol and it makes it more trouble to move off balance and stuff like that. So I undone the bolt down here, and now I've put a chock under it, like so, just to lift the tank. Now, I've already undone the bolts now though, or the units here to tell you, but right under here is your fuel one, and then just back up to the other side is an electrical contactor up there. Now there's your fuel one, and to get at that you just press either side, but even when you press it either side it's still pretty hard to get off, so it's none of these come off as easy. I think this one here was even worse. That's your electrical contactor. Once again, it's a press here at the side, It's no trouble pressing it side, the trouble is pulling it out. It's in that tight that you know, it is a bit of a challenge. So once you get these two out on the left hand side, I'll remove the tank off now, but you can then just lift the tank up higher. For example, bring it up another foot, and in towards the back here on the other side you'll see two tubes, and you just remove those tubes, and then after that you can pull the tank back towards the rear wheel and it'll just come straight out. Okay, here's a better look now. So you've got your electrical contactor, you've got your fuel line, there's your two breathers just there in the top there. I've just clipped them back into that area like that. So once you get those out of the way, you can just pull the tank straight off. The next part, you'll find that there's really no clearance under here to pull the Tappet cover straight off. So the idea is there's a coil sits in this part here where these two wires, at the top and bottom wire there. There's your unit there, I'll pull to the side. It's also hooked up to your spark plug. So you've got everything there. In actual fact, when you open it up for the first time, you'll see it sitting something like so, up underneath in the middle there. And it'll be sitting there with two bolts you've got to undo there to get that out of the way. Also at the back here, didn't give me no clearance, so right at the very end, this one that was sitting in that section there, had to disconnect it there, undo the nut here, then you can lift it out of the way and it gives you a bit of a clear run there. The spark plug has to come out. I found that really difficult to get out the spark plug. So the spanner it comes with it, I don't think you'll have any way of removing that spark plug, and I had to use actually a big shifter on the spark plug nut to really get it, and you could hear it sort of snap or crack when you actually applied the pressure to the shifter to release it. So that bit aside, you'd have to take into account a lot of pressure there to do that. On your little bolts that hold down the head, the three of them, they weren't really torqued down really that tight at all. So when I put the hex in, I think it was, to remove those, very little effort whatsoever. But the main thing is when you put them back in, you don't put them back in and then tighten them as tight as you can. They're at a set rate where they go in like that and they can't go any further. So you just put them in till they sort of button up, and just a little bit there, but don't overdo it or snap them off, or you could have a lot of trouble. So apart from that, you've got all the controls out of the, or all the electricals out of the way, and that's what like I said, I wasn't going to do a clip on this, but near the end I thought I'll give them something to look at if everything's, you know, it might help someone. So you've got a clear run in there now. You look at it there. Prior to that, the other one was coming down here, this one was hitting there, and there's probably no way you could get it out. So this one's definitely got to go. Your coil's got to go out of the way, and I just unplugged a few of the other ones because they're all plug and play, and you can put them back into the same slot. So as it is now, the plug, queer looking plug too, it's a really long, narrow thread affair, and like I said, that was in rock tight. One of the tightest plugs I've ever tried to get out of a bike, but it wasn't going anywhere, and the first thing you think, oh, you're going to break it off, but it wasn't a picnic, that one. So that one goes out near the end. I've just put it back in here now. Just bared it, so I've got and take it out later. So apart from that, we're down to that stage. Next thing, these are off, and now it's nice and clear. There's a gasket bearded all the way around this one, and what I did, because it comes into this left hand side of the case, it naturally sits there like that, hold it in place. So it naturally sits there like this to hold it in place with two Allen head screws. So you really got to remove that to get access to this, so you can sort of prise it up and get it out. But what I found at the moment is I really haven't got a replacement gasket. So I've got a choice of either lift this up and try to get the original one back on and hope for the best, or if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to order one through a dealer, which I don't know how long that'd take. So I think at the moment, you know, we'll see how things go on that line. I'm going to see if I can get this off, check the valves, see if they need the adjustment, and if they do, try to put that gasket back on and reuse the one I've got. But don't bother filming around here, because I think once I go into there and try to prise that off. I'm going to bugger this one and the party will be over for that one, so I'm going to try the other trick first. You'll be able to see the gasket sitting, well, it's probably a bit hard to see there, but it's still sitting in right around. So mine's still there, so if I get here and try to pull that straight off, I'm going to rip the other side of it where it's glued in or siliconed in. So the idea, I'll prise this section off here right around first, and then I'll try to lift the gasket off so I can salvage the original one. So either that or I'm in a world of pain, I won't be riding this bike, so I'll just have to have a quick go at that one. And I don't think it'll be much trouble because you only have to get your fingers there, and it's probably in a recess, but we'll have a look. Once I pull the top cover off, I'll turn it up and we'll have a look. Okay guys, I'll go around the other side. Okay guys, can be pulled out either side. Okay, here's a top look at the Tappet cover, and you'll see it's grooved all the way around. So if you can get this original gasket back in, well, we'll try anyway, that it, compared to I think on the Interceptor, it didn't sit anywhere like this, and it kept on falling off. But I think it can be pushed in if you've got someone to help, and I think I'll get the wife to help because she's got smaller hands. Okay, we're up to this part here. There's our gasket sitting right around. I'll just move it to the side. You can tell here it's really, yeah, it seems fairly solid. So this isn't a very old bike, it's only a couple of weeks old, so it should be alright. The gasket's in really good order. Okay, now to hit top dead centre on this motor, there's two ways you can do it. You can come into here with a 14mm hex, which I had off earlier on, and you can rotate the crank that way to get it in place, or you can just put it in third or fourth gear as soon as it's on the centre stand and turn the wheel anti-clockwise, rear wheel anti-clockwise, in other words as if it was driving or you're riding off. That's the direction you're going to turn it. Now on the thing here, they do make a special tool to lock the cam in place so you've got top dead centre. But looking at that, so down here now, just hold this camera steady. If you come over the top on the cam piece there, you've got a hole just there. Now, so on the tool, Royal Enfield or some of the dealers sell, I think it's a triangle thing, and one knob goes in there, one in there like that, another one back down there, and it lines up straight across like that. It's got a hole in it, and once it's got the hole in it, it comes down over the top here and locks this top dead centre here. But I couldn't get one of those, and when you can get them, they're about $100, but there was none available. But they just said to me, and like an Interceptor, you know, when you move it around and get top dead centre, if you're doing it by yourself and you haven't got anyone there annoying you or touching anything, it won't move. And also, seeing I'm at top dead centre now, you can tell by the rattle on both of them. So I'm right up there. The other point is, I better get that around here. Swing around here at the spark plug. Take that out. Plug is out. Yeah, so we swing around the spark plug hole. Just this bit of a tie clip. There, you can feel the piston right up the top just there, just inside the hole. Now we're looking at the intake, and that's supposed to be set at 0.08. Okay, we're over the exhaust side. Now it's supposed to be set at 0.18. So there she is there. Now I've had several attempts to try to get it under the intake one. It just won't go in, like simply when you get it down into it there. I just can't. Yeah, so simply when you get down in there, you just can't move it. On the exhaust side, this is about as far as I can get in. I can't get any further than that. So I've tried, but it's jammed on that one. That's as far as I can get. So you can see both of them got to be reset, and that's what we'll have a crack at doing now. Okay guys, we're looking for 0.08 on this one here. I can just screw this out a bit now. Okay, it's lifted up now. Now I can screw it down a bit. And the idea is you get it set right when it sort of drags across the feeler gauge. So like it's got a slight pull, which it hasn't at the moment. Starting to drag there. It'd be better if I had a screwdriver, but I don't think I've got a small one that'll fit in there, so I could just use a knife or something, I suppose, but that's too tight. That's got a fair bit of drag now. Once you pull it out, it's too much. That now, probably not quite as tight, and then see what happens once you tighten it. So that's definitely scraping. Now we'll have another go. Okay guys, I think I got it this time because it's got drag. And I think that one would be good enough. Okay, we'll swing over to the exhaust. Okay, that one's in. Now the exhaust is 0.18. So I'll just back off. Bring it down. Too loose. Just slide her in now, side on, see how it goes. Got drag there. That might be pretty close. I might just tighten it up a little bit more. Have another peel. I think I'll go back a little bit more. About there. Right, just a little bit more. There's a bit of resistance there now, so I think I'll call that one even. Okay guys, we're going to have a go at attempting putting this on, just using the original gasket in place, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I've got that one there. Just following it with my fingers around. Now is it? Oh.
Round it down a bit. Yeah.
That wasn't in. Just bring it down and we'll just see if it's bedded in.
This one is. This one isn't.
It isn't?
No. Alright, go down.
Is it down there?
Yeah.
Okay guys, we can just button these down there. Now, I put 300 k's on this bike and it's going really well now since I did the Tappets, and on my summary there where I go into a little bit of areas where what's hard and what's not. At that stage I'd only done 35, but I've been out doing a few clips on this for the upcoming series, and it's done now 300 kilometres since then, and it's running really nicely. So no experting on doing these together, I just did it for something to do. I've done on a couple of other bikes. Some parts may not appeal to you, some might, just hard to say, but it's up to you after that whether you want to try it on your own bike or go to the dealer and just give him a few bucks to do it there. So once again, we'll swing over to my 35 kilometre summary after putting it back together. Okay guys, I've put the bike back together now, so it's only just assembly the same as what it was pulling it apart, so it's fairly straightforward there. I'd say a couple of those connectors, if anything, were a little bit harder to get off than what you would expect, but more important now, I've put it back on the road this afternoon after I put it back together. I did 35 kilometres a while ago on it. The bike ran well, went better than what it was prior to doing the work on it, so that was a plus, come out well there. So as far as things go, the best thing about it was, you know, I was wondering whether I'd still have to buy a new gasket for the Tappet cover, and if that was the case I would have had to order one. That would have took a week or more to get, and I've just hit virtually 1500 kilometres and hadn't worried about doing any adjustment on it, and it was the last couple of 100 kilometres where I could feel the bike slowing down, so I thought I'd better get in there and do something with it as far as that goes. And my next chore on this one now, I'll be doing oil change and put a new filter in it. Did one at 500 and now it's just about top 1500 k's. I'll do one there too. But the thing about it, with the help of the wife there on one side, and by not removing that gasket on the Tappet cover because it was stuck in fairly solid, I was able to leave that there, get the wife on one side, lift the cover back over the head, and then we were able to prise that gasket back into the slot. Now it was a lot easier to do that this way than what it was on the Interceptor, where it would have been fairly impossible. It was very difficult to put it on it. But apart from that, I was able to use that, and to give you an idea, didn't go totally perfect. When I put the bike back together the first time, it wouldn't start, and I was wondering what was going on. Just at a crank, but it wouldn't start at all. So that was all right. I thought, I got nothing to bet, I'll go down and pull it back down again. So I went back down through it and checked everything, and it turned out, of all things, hard to believe, and that means I've taken the Tappet cover off now 3 times and put it on twice. So it turned out that when I set the spark plug in, when I put the cap on it, I didn't bed it properly, and it was cranking but no spark. So that was a fairly stupid move, and I had to go back and do it twice. But saying that, going back and doing it twice the second time was easier to do than the first. You know, like it's like everything. When you're hitting them connectors, some of them are difficult to move, and you don't know which ones you're going to move and how much trouble you're going to have pulling them apart. So, in other words, I pulled it down twice. I actually checked me. Actually, I thought I might have been a bit off target on the Tappet adjustment, so I came back onto the intake and just let it out a shade or a tad more. But, you know, overall, I don't think that was the drama. The drama was I noticed when I went through all the stuff to make sure, you know, if I'd made an error there somewhere along the way, which is always possible, I thought I had the spark plug in my hand and I put it up into the cap while it was out of the bike naturally, and then when I put it in, I thought, this is clicking in a lot better now that it's not lined up in the barrel than what it was when I was having a go. So I'm pretty sure the trouble was I never bedded the plug properly in the cap and just pushed it down, and it has to be pushed down with a bit of fair effort to get it under control. But more importantly, what I did find, you don't have to go out and buy one of those gaskets if you're going to do it yourself if you don't touch it, because see, mine would have been, if I would have tried to get mine out, I'm pretty sure I would have destroyed it because it was fairly well in to the slot there. And I didn't even put any grease or anything around it when we put it back in. We just got the, in there, just put the Tappet cover back over the head of the bike. The wife got one side, she pushed the gasket in one side way around, I pushed the other thing and pushed it straight down, bedded down flat, Like I said, I've been out on now 35 kilometre run it up 100 kilometres an hour, come back, no sign of leaks. Completely dry. And there you are. Yeah, so everything worked out really sweet with that one, and more importantly I don't have to worry about running at 500 kilometres on a return journey for a dealer to do a service on it. Next thing I want to do now is an oil change, and that oil's been in there roughly 1,000 kilometres, and I'm getting to do some riding next week. I want to set up my intro to the channel where I'm going to do ride and cook. So I've got to get out there, fly the drone, try to get a few good drone shots, get this out on the dirt road because it's been running everything. So if you want to subscribe to the channel and see how things going. Already I've set this rack up on the back. See this rack here? That one there. I'm going to put a milk crate on top of that one, and that'll be to carry me stoves and everything else when I go out there cooking. So this is more of a general purpose bike to get out there and do what I want. And more importantly, it's running well now. So like I said, all I've got to do is drop the oil, and I'll put an oil change clip up on it next time. So thanks for tuning in. Take a look, subscribe to the channel if you want to, and if you don't, just come and have a look, and that's okay too. So catch up with you later, and cheers.